my heart and mind and agenda for a long time. And finally, my in-laws were like, we want to finance you. We want to help you with this. And so I'm so excited, and it's really awesome.
Amazing. Big congratulations to you. So you said it, the album may be coming out later this year. Is that a set thing, or is that like a possibility?
Well, I was going to start it like pretty much ASAP, but my Hanai auntie means like here in Hawaii, like somebody who's like family.
Ooh, yeah.
Related to, but she does numerology, and she told me to wait until after my birthday to start a big project. So that's my plan.
Okay. What would you say is the biggest obstacle on the musical path right now for you to actualize either the album or just to step in more fully?
I think for me, it has a lot to do with second guessing.
Oh, okay.
My instincts. Like I'll have an instinct or have a desire or an impulse.
Yeah.
And then I second guess it, and I'm like, wait, is that right? Is that the right thing to do? And then I kind of like, it's so funny because like that's the only issue. Like the only issue is that thing.
Yeah, exactly. How does that show up for you when you get that instinct, as you say? I guess just how does it show up for you? Is it like just a general knowing, or is there a feeling in your body, or?
Yeah, it's like this feeling of kind of excitement and like forward movement. And sometimes like I tend to be like, I'll like shut it down and be like, no, like I can't do that, or like, have reasons like why I can't do it. It's so funny, and I find myself taking that path or almost going into freeze mode.
Ooh, yeah, I was just gonna ask you what shut it down. Like, what happens when you get this excited movement and you're going with it?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, those words come in, those second guessing words, and you shut it down. What happens? What happens in your day-to-day life, or what happens in your body or to your creativity? Can you tell me more about that?
Oh, yeah. Well, it definitely gets stored in my body as tension, and I lose motivation, and I feel like I kind of get into ruts, sort of like using social media, overusing social media, or, bored eating, or just like, things like that, where I'm not focusing on what I know I need to be focusing on. So I like pursue a distraction.
Oh, okay. Yeah, distraction. Okay. And you said you kind of like lose interest as well.
Well, I think it's almost like the fox and the grapes, where like I convince myself I can't have what I want, so I'm like, oh, I bet they're sour. Like I'll just distract myself.
Mm-hmm. One moment, I want to write that down. That is just such an elegant metaphor, fox and the grape. I can't have what I want, so the grapes must be sour. I wouldn't want them anyways. Exactly. So just to repeat that back to you, I want to see if I missed anything. When you're finding that this second guessing is coming in of your instinct and you shut it down, it's leading to physical tension, potential loss of interest in the way that like, oh, I didn't need that anyways. Boredom eating, social media, and other forms of distraction. Did I miss anything that's just showing up peripherally?
I don't think so. I think that's kind of the main way, at least that I'm aware of. Like there might be other things that are subconscious, but
yeah, like little things here or there. When all this happens and you're finding that your energy is stepping outside of the devotion to the creation of music, and it's getting kind of put into these other realms of distraction, these other little places like social media and eating, what, like weird things. And is there a particular, how does it make you feel in regards to the music? Like,
Yeah, well, let's see. I did have a kind of an epiphany, and now I'm sort of forgetting what it was, but I'll remember it if it's important.
Yeah, we were just speaking about the distractions there.
Yeah, I think there is a piece in there where I feel like I can't have connection with other people and also have what I want.
Wow.
So that's a part of it.
Yeah, I can't have connection and also have what I want. When you say connection, what do you mean by that? What does that word in particular mean for you?
Being in relationships with other people, I feel like maybe, pursuing something for myself is going to erode relationships that I really care about. And I know intellectually that that's not true. But sometimes, it takes a while to trickle down.
Yeah, absolutely. So connection in relationships with other people, are these familial relationships, like your family, friendships, like social relationships, in the totality, love and romantic relationships? Like, is it everything, or is there one particular one that is like, oh, well, I know I can't have that if I...
Yeah, well, I was actually kind of excommunicated by my dad, as were like most of my siblings. And so like with him, that sort of was a reality. And so I think I apply it to like my relationships with men, like my romantic relationship, because
Thanks for sharing that.
that was the way it was with him. So like, it's hard for me to like expect something else. Like even though it's a different person and it's a different context, somehow I still am associating that.
First, I'd like to stop and just say how grateful I am that you are sharing such a vulnerable piece of your life with me. I know we don't know each other, and just even in sisterhood, I'm in awe of your courage and how much you're stepping forward to share this part of your story, this artistic part of you. And thank you. Even as you're speaking it out, it's coming out. It's coming out, beloved. Do you mind if I ask, was the excommunication with Dad around your creative pursuits? And
it was my desire to travel, my desire to, be independent, or traveling and independence, mostly. And I think my vision for my musical career involved those things.
Yeah, so, got it. That big vision. So last question, I just noticed that we're at the time here. Wow, it just goes by so super fast. Is to ask you, all of these things put aside, so the obstacles around being able to have, like, not feeling like I can have what I want if I pursue my creative path, and not having the connection and the avoidance and things like this. If all of that could be wiped aside, like you're rubbing a magic, genie, a magic bottle, and a genie was to come out.
Sorry, one sec. Let me just
turn
my phone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries. I'm wondering if you could tell me or describe to me, like, the whole vision, feels, knowing around what the dream would be if all of that was put aside?
I think feeling that connection with others, like performance can be such a beautiful way to connect with people, and creating a space for people to feel love and peace and inspiration.
Yeah, tell me more.
I remember how I used to watch women performers and as a young woman, and how impactful that was. And if I can create that for someone else, like that would be like, I would feel like my work in life was pretty fulfilled.
And of everything that we talked about today, what do you feel like would be the way for you to step into that?
Feeling my heart.
What is that?
Feeling my heart.
Feeling my heart. Oh, gorgeous. Yes. Oh, well, your heart is screaming loud and clear. Here it is. Love that moment. And thank you again for all this beautiful information around connection and the way that you're seeking connection for your dreams. And I have this general sense that you're not alone, and there's so many other people who are performers, want to step into that dream and are feeling just like you. And that having this story, not sharing directly from you, but having these insights is going to help me to guide them into potentially that heart healing, or being able to really communicate, in the way that they want to, and share what they want to in the way that they want to, because your vision is so big. There are so many people like you. Thank you so much. And yet your gifts are so unique too. I can't wait to hear everything that you're doing. You'll have to share them with me as well. So we're about to pivot into the spiritual guidance portion. But before we do, I'm happy to share with you a little bit about my journey as a channel and a medium as well. I'm a Reiki teacher and a shamanic practitioner, a lot of things. And it started with my path in Reiki, which is a Japanese, are you familiar with Reiki?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Japanese healing art where you lay hands on the body and you strengthen one's life force energy with touch or off body, strengthening of the energy field. So I started in that journey in 2012, got initiated into the Reiki lineage, and took Reiki 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are 4 levels to mastership. Okay. I was on this big self-healing journey and decided I would immerse myself into a 16-month shamanic immersion program where I learned spirit communication with animals, plants, and healing my past stories, right? Working in the spiritual planes and taking journeys. From there, as you imagine, it just kind of like I got addicted to healing myself and healing others, and that big experience, and it just kind of exponentiated. I wanted to keep increasing my vibration and also finding a way for it to feel safe in my earth body, as for so many years I suffered from debilitating depression, anxiety, chronic fatigue, so many things, and this was my pathway. So from the shamanic journey experience, I ended up realizing in being able to communicate with the spirits, so to speak, of plants and animals, that I then was able to communicate with like angelic beings or the beloved deceased, those who have crossed over. And then it just kept going, so on and so forth. The more you practice anything, the stronger you get at it. And from there, I mean, even as a Reiki person, you're channeling, you're bringing in light. So now I channel all the things and allow them to use my body to perform healings and gift messages to the world, deities, oversouls, ETs, you name it. So it just, long story short, went and went. And I haven't stopped and I won't stop.
You feel like it just kind of comes through you?
Yeah, depending on the being, I do partial trance mediumship. So I'm not in a full trance. I'm still here to translate a lot of messages that come through. But I'm seeing as a clairvoyant. I'm also clairsentient. So I'm feeling a lot of energies alive in my body, also as an empath. And then I have a lot of these claircognizant kind of just knowings come through. And if it's, I only allow higher vibrational beings to use my body, but I'll allow them into the top portion of my body to show hand mudras or to sometimes take on a voice that, or a vibration through song that would be resonant for a healing to go across time and space to an individual.
Interesting. So you have to like create that boundary for yourself. You'd be like, no, this is mine. Like you can access like this. That must, I can imagine that would be challenging.
Yes. And that is exactly why I teach highly sensitive people, because I had found that I used to get very, very overwhelmed by not being able to understand how to perform mediumship and how to channel and how to communicate to energies safely without just taking them all on for my own healing. Like,
wow.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me share that with you. And I hope that clarifies a little bit of your question of like, hey, how did you get here? Was that yeah,
it's cool. My best friend is kind of similarly, like she is an energy healer, and she does a lot of that. She did sacred healing school. She and her mom went to that.
And her mom, wow.
Yeah, so her mom did it first, and then she went to the same school as her mom did, and it's just so amazing. Like I felt so much impact from it in my own life, and like she's helped me so much. And so I definitely have a greater like understanding of those things, like through being able to access the healing power of esoteric realms and non-corporeal.
Yeah. What a great friend to have.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's really fun. It's really, really super, super fun, supercharged work. I mean, you are also doing it when you perform, right?
Yeah.
And you're communicating to some greater force outside of yourself, almost as a channel or a medium as well, where it's flowing through you and you're communicating to your highest being, and and it's changing lives. And yeah, exactly what you're doing is essentially, there are many ways.
Yeah.
You also are an energy healer of sorts, Yeah. So I want to take a second to pivot, if it feels comfortable for you, into our spiritual guidance portion to see